do you respond to that your support of Trump is sanctioning that kind of behavior, sexual assault and defamation?
Well, I think it's actually very unfair to the victims of sexual assault to say that somehow their lives are being worse by electing Donald Trump for president, when what he's trying to do, I think, is restore prosperity. So I think it's insulting to victims of sexual assault.
So that is JD Vance responding to this PSA implying that Donald Trump, who has been found guilty by a jury of sexually abusing E. Jean Carroll, who's now going to owe something like $90 to $100 million to her as a combination of penalties for the sexual abuse, but also the defamation that he has spent the last couple of decades heaping on top of the trauma that he gave her in abusing her in the first place. To JD Vance, I mean, what does he care? Like, honestly, what does he care? He's in for a penny, in for a pound. He's given up all of his principles. He's not gonna let the fact that a jury found this guy guilty of sexual abuse stop him from supporting him. And also, more importantly, this is like one of the things he needs to be least concerned about as a Republican, of being on the wrong side of it, implying that women lie about the abuse that they suffer, that their trauma isn't important. That's not gonna hurt you on the Republican side. He went on to say, by the way, that the election should hinge on important issues, not over these ridiculous court cases that, frankly, they've been throwing at Trump from well before he became a political candidate. Which, by the way, if they've been doing it since well before he became a political candidate, I guess it's not as political as you guys have been saying. I thought it was just because he was a politician. Apparently, they've been around for a long time. And this is not a court. This is not just a court case. This isn't a frivolous lawsuit. This isn't Judge Judy. He was found guilty and he owes $100 million. But anyway, Stephanopoulos pushed back, saying, you call it a ridiculous case. These were juries that found him liable for sexual assault and defamation. That's ridiculous. These are juries. Oh, this is the response from JD Vance, who says, these are juries, George, in extremely left-wing jurisdictions. These are cases that are very often funded by left-wing donors, and they're cases that are funded explicitly to harm him politically, not to seek justice for any group of individuals. First of all, I love that it was in an area that's blue or whatever. So I guess it doesn't count. But also, let's say that it was funded by a left-wing interest. What does that have to do about whether he did it or not? Whether he defamed her, whether he sexually abused her? The financial backing of a lawsuit does not speak to whether the lawsuit is true. It might imply that they're just searching. But we had the case and the jury decided that they were not just searching, that he had done this, that he had and continued up until the day that the verdict was announced, defamed her. But again, he's able to be so fake because he doesn't have to speak in a way that's convincing, because nobody who would ever think of supporting him or Donald Trump is ever gonna question literally any of this, Francesca.
But I do agree with him, and I just have to push back a little bit, John, because I do think that Donald Trump is going to restore prosperity for sexual assault survivors. I mean, look at E. Jean Carroll. I mean, she is just prosperous. I mean, what, 85 million, almost $100 million after it's all said and done.
A lot of money.
Prosperity has been returned. Keep talking, yappity yap yap yap. It's just incredible to me that he would even say that. Well, who cares about sexual assault survivors when prosperity? Okay, well, let's have more of the those who have accused Donald Trump of similar actions. Let's have them come forward. Let's return prosperity.
Yeah. It should not be this easy to just write off all of these concerns. Like he is not, Donald Trump, I should say, JD Vance as well, but Donald Trump is not a particularly impressive guy in a lot of different ways, but his ability he is the most successful con man, scam artist in the history of our nation, perhaps the history of every nation combined, that he can get so many millions of people to not care at all about all the evidence. It's not like he's good. Lots of wealthy, powerful people are good at stopping you from ever finding out about their scandals through NDAs, paying people off. Elon Musk does it, tons of people do it. He doesn't even successfully do that. We find out about so much of it. I can't say all of it, by definition, but enough, and it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter because he's scammed these people so thoroughly.
But
anyway,
John, can I interest you in a horse?
In exchange
I know there's a lot of
what?
How about a horse?
Yeah, I love that people have moved on from that story somehow. He will have a reckoning. Elon Musk's reckoning will come.
Oh God.
I don't know when, but at some point.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.